Hello warriors, and welcome to The Varied Life, where I, Steve, have decided to uptake and go on a journey of learning how to paint Warhammer figures, even though I haven't painted in over 40 some odd years. I guess you could say I'm a total noob. Matter of fact, you might say that I am the king of the noobs. So the purpose of this journey is to learn how to paint these figures. And I'm doing it with your help because I need all the help I can get. So I appreciate all the information and suggestions and tips that you all have been giving me in trying to paint these little guys. Now, basically, everybody is more experienced than me, and even if you're brand new, you probably know more than me anyway. So feel free to like and subscribe to the channel and follow me on this journey, and maybe it'll help you out a little bit, but it will definitely help me. So with that out of the way, let's get McCracken or McRaggy or McCraggy or whatever the blue is that they use to paint those Space Marines, okay? Let's go. So now we're going to go over our Space Marine that I've painted in over 40 some odd years. So I did a Krylon primer on this with a spray can. It was a satin finish, so it was really shiny. I'm never going to use that again. Matter of fact, I even bought some Vallejo Mecha black primer, and that will solve the problems of you might see some pitting on the legs, and you say, ooh, that's a cool distressed look, but yeah, that wasn't planned at all. That was the luck of the draw, and I'm glad it just didn't screw up the whole figure. I did a little bit of zenithal, but I need to work on my zenithal skills. Now, another area that I could do better is with the base color, the McCraggy or whatever the name of the blue is that they use to paint the Space Marines. I didn't really know how to, let's say, thin the paint with water. That's something that you all filled me in on. So that will help in creating the depth of field and not taking away from the zenithal. The other thing that is glaringly obvious is I use this brown on the pouches and on the holster, but that color just seems to, I don't know, it's just not worn, it's just not dark enough for the Marine that we have here, and so I think in the future what I'll end up doing is adding a little bit of black to that, making it a bit darker and hence more worn looking. Some of the other things, obviously I need to work on some brush control because I do have some areas that, like you can see on this right here, his shoulder pad, how some of that gold spilled over onto his shoulder. So I need to clean that up. And kind of did some highlights. You know, I did the vents on top of the jetpack. I kind of added some silver along the edges to indicate some wear. So I think that brings out the details in this guy. Some little details here where you can see where I added a little bit of red into the venting. And I think I'd like to put some wash in there and see if that would darken it up. Matter of fact, the next thing that I'm going to end up doing is putting the decals onto the shoulders, and that'll be brand new because I've never done that before. So in the comments section down below, it's your job to tell me what you think about this Space Marine and the first paint job that I've ever done. So the next thing, let's put some decals on and see how that goes. So we have our Space Marine and we have our decals. I haven't put a decal on in so many years it's not even funny. I think the very first one we'll end up doing is this guy right here. And having a cutting mat can definitely help. So I think the first one we're gonna end up doing is the little sign here. Now I've got a little bit of water and I haven't practiced before I made this video. So, yeah.
A few moments later.
This is gonna be fun. Let's see. Ooh, it is moving. It actually went on there. Okay, I rated the wife's makeup. And what we'll end up doing is just kind of soaking that up. Some of that excess water. Somebody said I think it is. I saw in a video where you use some type of SOL. So there he is. And there's the first decal. We'll see how that goes. That's a lot less painful than what I thought it was going to be. So now we have decals on, and as I do a closer inspection, I will definitely need some tips and tricks on how to flatten down that decal. So your job, ladies and gentlemen, is to put that into the comment section down below so I can glean from your expertise on how to do this and have it look better than what it is now. That leads us to the next point of doing the base, and then more stuff will happen after that. So we'll see how this goes. A fair amount of the glow, a little bit more of the gray, kind of mix that in there. Dirt color, and maybe we'll have just a touch of some dark in there, kind of darken that up. Maybe we'll just kind of splotch this on in some different places. I think that'll work. I think that turns out okay. Let's get a little close up. Got a little bit of texture. It's just not one solid color. With that little mixture of black in there. But I think that's good for now. I would say, yeah, I call that done. So not bad for a first time. If you got any hints or suggestions, put them in the comments. So now that we finished up regaining our peace and our joy by doing something simple like the base of our Space Marine, we're moving on to the next objective, which is applying the shade. And I mean no disrespect, but we're going to take this Agrax Earth Shade and apply it to our Space Marine. And apparently what this will do, put kind of a little darker, grittier tinge onto our Space Marine. So let's get to it. So I imagine if we put this onto our little guy here, what'll end up happening is that is going to get pretty grimy. Apparently thinning the paint so I don't overdo it, I think what I'll end up doing is filling the brush up here with some of this shade, and that's kind of dark. So what we'll end up doing, just put like 1 drop of water onto this. Oops, maybe 2 drops. I'll mix that in there. And might as well go from the top down. So this brings in a kind of a caramel color. Oh yeah, I think I like that. Not too much, I think. Let's go ahead and put some onto almost like a muddy feel to it, doesn't it? There we've applied the Earth Shade. Kind of grimes it up a little bit. And I think that's not bad. I think if I left it where if it was original and I didn't dilute it, I think it would get really too dark. But I think what we got here works. So yeah, I think I'm gonna call that good right there. Of course, we're not totally done with this because the next step is to let this dry, and we'll put on some matte varnish and see what happens next. So now that the Agrax Earth Shade has dried on our figure, what we're gonna end up doing is sealing in all of this color and zenithal goodness using the Vallejo Premium Color Matte Varnish. This will seal in those colors, so that's what we're going to be using. And yeah, this will be the final step in getting this guy done and over with. We're going to give it a little bit. What we'll do is we'll put a couple of drops. It's not as cloudy as some other varnishes that I've seen online with videos and things like that. So just kind of mix this stuff up. And this is meant for airbrushes, but I think we can get away with this. All right, in summary, you and I, we have finished our very first Space Marine. After a hiatus of over 40 years of putting model and paint together, this is the first. And obviously this is the first Warhammer 40,000 figure that I had done. And I couldn't have done it without you, or I should say I couldn't have been able to do it as well as I did without you and your recommendations. So again, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Please do me a favor and like this video and subscribe to the channel. That would be really good. It would help me out. If you didn't like the video and then send it to somebody that you don't like so it annoys them. So it's a win-win-win situation. You annoy them, you don't like me, you send it to somebody else, I get another view on the video, and it just ends up being good for everybody. So think about that. Anyway, we're going to roll the outro, so it'll have some other information. But again, I want to say thank you, Warriors, for helping me out in achieving the objective of painting my first Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine. Thank you. Yeah, remember when I said I had forgotten to press record in the last video so I couldn't get the better audio? Well, I was so excited in this video that I totally forgot to even open the case and do it. So, I don't know. Cross your fingers. Maybe we'll use this on the next video. No promises. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to stay up to date with what's going on with us. The Varied Life, as we're retired in Korea. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.